basically he'd gone out to get me a cake and stuff for the kids. Arthur was told to sit on the thinking step. Arthur's put himself all over the floor. He's banged himself off the radiator. He's hit me. He's kicked me in the process of me trying to get him back on the thinking step. He's then gone on all fours on the floor, and I've told him to get up. And I shut the door over, and all I heard was a crack off the floor. He was headbutting the floor on all fours. Headbutted the floor once, said, "Arthur, get up, you're going to hurt yourself. I've phoned your dad." He went, "I don't care." At that point, he was fine. And then he dropped his head again as I've tried to bear hug him and pick him up, and he headbutted the floor 3 times.
Here on this carpet?
Round about, the door was shut, so if you go in, I'll show you. It's probably about here his head was, but it's concrete, there's no...
Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I hope everyone's having a productive week. This first story is a follow-up to a case that I've been following for the past several months. Arthur Hughes died after being poisoned and also left to starve for days on end in the Shirley area of Solihull, just on the outskirts of Birmingham. This happened in June last year, and this month his own father and his girlfriend have stood trial for his murder. And this week, West Midlands Police have actually released a heartbreaking CCTV of the moments where Arthur Hughes struggles to take a duvet off him hours before his death. The video shows him weak and also barely being able to walk. And he would later go on to die from catastrophic head injuries. As a father and as a human being myself, this footage brought tears to my eyes, and I'm not ashamed to say that. And there is definitely a warning to anybody that does choose to watch this of how harrowing it really is. The prosecution said that he was subjected to weeks of systematic abuse at the hands of his father, Thomas Hughes, and also the stepmother, Emma Tustin. And this culminated in the fatal attack. Both of them deny murder and multiple counts of child cruelty, and they are standing trial at Coventry Crown Court, where the jury are days away from sending out a verdict following weeks of evidence. And this is terrifying to think that in the 21st century, children repeatedly are able to be neglected by their families without social services intervening sooner. The prosecution described the footage to the jury for the first time in the trial. He said that Arthur wakes up and stands. He appears to struggle to fold the duvet. He appears to be crying and struggling to get to his feet. The 2-minute footage, which didn't record sound, shows that he finally gets to his feet and limps towards the door. It is alleged at this stage Arthur's body was feeble and he was being made to stand in isolation in the hallway for up to 14 hours a day, and he was being repeatedly assaulted, deprived of water and food, and likely poisoned with salt. Medical experts told the jury that an organ that was part of his immune system had shrunk due to the long period of physical stress, and he compared the immune system of Arthur to a child with cancer. The CCTV from the living room was heavily featured in the trial, and it shows a unique fly-on-the-wall perspective of what was happening in the house during lockdown last year. Tustin said she had installed it to monitor Arthur's behaviour, which the pair said deteriorated in the final weeks of his life. The prosecution has argued that Hughes carried out the violence on his son as it was permitted and encouraged Tustin to do so as well. They believe he was attacked in the hallway at 2:30 on June the 16th while she was alone with Arthur. The court heard that Hughes arrived home shortly after and emergency services were called 12 minutes after the assault. Arthur was taken to Birmingham Children's Hospital, but doctors said that his brain injuries were unsurvivable. His life support machine was turned off a day after. It's actually devastating to even comprehend what this little boy went through, and I completely understand how hard this must be for people to listen to, but at the same time it's also very important that this doesn't happen again. These children are being neglected on a day-to-day basis because society is built in a way where we don't interact with each other. They have also released the harrowing audio of Arthur crying and saying that nobody loved him. The prosecution said there was over 200 voice notes over a 3-month period where Arthur was heard calling for his uncle and grandmother in some of them. They didn't discover any injuries apart from a bruise on his shoulder, and the social services involvement was discontinued in April on the 18th. The police also said there was no evidence that Arthur even lived in the house. There was no children's toys, children's bedding or even food. This is just another example of failures in the system and also society as well. How was this child not saved earlier on? How did this get so far that he ended up dying in the hands of the people that he loved? Really appreciate you joining me, and rest in peace to Arthur Hughes. Please don't forget to follow me online as well for any updates to do with this story and many others at Scarcity Studios and the website scarcitystudios.com. I really appreciate the support, and I'll be back again very shortly. Peace.